I'm Jason Coos. I'm representing ADP.
Ellie Page, very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Let me go ahead and trade you one of my business cards.
Okay, great, thank you. And I actually have one right here for you.
Oh, perfect. You want to have a seat?
Sure. Hope it didn't take you too long. Hope you found the place okay and all that.
Oh no, not at all. I've actually got family out here, so I visit pretty regularly.
Oh, okay, well it's very nice of you to visit them. That's good.
Oh yeah, it's my cousin Eric just had a baby out here. You know, so the whole family's kind of flocking out here to see him. You know.
Oh, okay.
So what about you? Do you have any kids?
2 boys, ages 2 and 4.
Oh wow, that's young. I'm sure they must take up a lot of your time, right?
Well, not as much as I would like. You know, I stay pretty busy here. So.
What are your responsibilities here?
You know, I'm in charge of accounting, payroll, and employees' pay time off.
So all the accountability for these things, the decision making, and the actual work, that's all your jurisdiction, top to bottom?
Yeah, that's all me.
Okay. Now what does that usually involve for you?
I collect time cards bi-weekly and then enter them manually into our payroll system. And then what I do is I sign and mail them, the checks. And I'm also in charge of our tax deposits, quarterly filings, and our W-2s. And I'm also in charge of reconciling bank statements. Also track and report our employees' pay time off, as I said before.
Wow, it sounds like you would keep you pretty busy. How much of your time does that usually take up?
Yeah, very busy actually. The biggest use of my time, I would say, is the 15 hours I spend every week updating our employee information. And you know, I'll collect employee time cards bi-weekly from our 35 employees, and then punch them in manually. Which that takes me about 3 minutes per time card, and then about an hour to figure payroll. And then from there, for our taxes, about 15 minutes a period for our deposits, and about 2 hours every quarter for our quarterly filings, and 15 minutes, I would say, a period for the W-2s. And other than that, I spend about an hour a month reconciling bank statements.
Oh, it sounds like a lot. Have you always had this amount of work?
No, not always. When I first came here to the company to help my husband out, you know, we just had the one location, and so the work was much more manageable. And you know, now that we've got the second clinic, everything's really started to pick up and progress from there.
Well, at the very least, it sounds like business is good. Do you plan to expand any more in the future?
Yeah, business is real good actually, and because of that, we would like to open a third location in about 2 years, and also in addition to that, hire 5 more employees at our Peachtree location.
Is there anything that you think would prevent that?
Yeah, you know, it's a big move, so it's going to be very expensive. So we are looking to cut costs however we can. And also we're going to need to change the way we handle our payroll, and also most likely we'll have to reorganize our HR departments.
Well, tell me about your costs. What kind of payroll software are you using right now, and how much is it costing you to run?
Well, right now we're just running an off-the-shelf payroll system, and that costs us about $1,500 a year.
Okay. What's usually your process for your payroll system?
Well, let's see. I have to collect the time cards bi-weekly, and then enter it all by hand. From there, I have to sign and stuff and sort the checks into envelopes before mailing them out. And at the moment, we aren't able to offer direct deposit, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. What other costs do you usually run into?
Well, one time, a few years ago actually, I reported our taxes late, and we got hit with a fee. But it wasn't anything serious. But other than that, as far as costs go, we spend about $250 a month on our bank account.
Okay. Well, I mean, certainly nobody ever wants to have to deal with the IRS. And those banking fees do seem a little bit high, but are those really that major of issues for you?
Oh, no, not really. You know, obviously we would like to avoid them, but they're not that big of a concern for us.
Okay. Now, have you had any issues with your current payroll system?
Yeah, you know, like I mentioned before, our current payroll system takes a lot of manual data entry. So,
yeah, that's kind of the thing with these generic off-the-shelf payroll systems. You know, they work really well whenever you're a smaller company. There's not a lot of demand on them, you know. But once people start growing and they have a lot more need for this kind of thing, you know, they find that they have to expand and they have to get a more customized thing for them. Now, have you encountered any errors? I mean, I'm sure you're doing all this stuff by hand. There has to be some mistakes here and there. Have you
Yeah.
run into any errors on your part?
Actually, yeah. Unfortunately, it's quite a few. I would say every period, pay period, several paychecks have mistakes on them, and it has to be brought in and manually corrected. It's one of our employees' biggest complaints right now, so that's not good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's a complaint of yours too. You know, neither one of you on staff to deal with that. And I'm sure that having, disgruntled employees is kind of the last thing you want to have to worry about if you're going to be planning this big new expansion. And you also mentioned that the system doesn't allow you to do direct deposit.
Mhm.
Is that a feature you are interested in?
Absolutely. Like you say, it's not available for us right now, but it would save me a lot of time, and that's something that I would really appreciate. It would help me out a lot, and also, it'd be great for the employees too, because that's one thing that they've been requesting and asking about for quite some time.
Right. You mentioned earlier this was the payroll issues were just one of their bigger complaints. What else have they been talking about?
Yeah, the big one is how we handle their pay time off. Right now, I track everything manually using a spreadsheet, and not only is it's time consuming, but it also makes it difficult for the employees to check how many days they have left. And that's because I only have time to make reports every other month. And so another issue that we've run into is that with this method, is that due to our lack of organization, people are able to take a vacation before they have actually earned those days off.
Mhm.
And in the event that they are terminated before we're able to recognize this mistake, I mean that's time that we can't get back. It's already lost.
Sure. Okay, Ms. Page, so it sounds like from our conversation here, the three main issues that you've got with your current system are just the time that it's taking you to do all this kind of stuff by hand, and that's all unnecessary. And the errors you're having with your current payroll system, and the difficulty with not being able to have direct deposit. Also the paid time off, that the difficulty with your employees being able to access that easily and you having to maintain all that. If our software could correct all these issues for you, would you be willing to make the switch?
Absolutely.
Great. Well, let me tell you about how ADP can meet your needs.
Okay.